Hello everyone, I cannot believe it is already almost July. I am filming this like 2 days before July and I can't believe it's already time to do the mid-year book freakout tag again. I feel like I just did this. I know that sounds a little bit ridiculous, but this last year has just flown by for me and we are now back onto the mid-year book freakout tag. I actually only wrote down the books that I chose. I didn't write down the actual prompts, so we'll see how well I remember them. I probably won't remember them. I'm gonna go look them up. Okay, there are 13 prompts, so let's jump right into them. The first one is the best book you read so far in 2024, and for this one I'm putting Assassin's Fate by Robin Hobb. This is the conclusion to her Realm of the Elderling series, which I started a few years ago. This is a very long series, and it starts out with Assassin's Apprentice, and it follows a character named Fitz, who is the illegitimate child of a prince, and he is brought to the castle. His father leaves, abdicates as crown prince, and he is then raised by the stable master. I absolutely love the character work in this series. I think the magic is really interesting and has a lot of like vagueness to it, and I absolutely love Fitz and the Fool. They are two of the best characters that were like ever written in literature. I just think that the way Robin Hobb pulls on our emotions, makes us so emotionally invested in these characters, and just really slow burn love for this world and like these relationships and these people. I just absolutely love it. She is such a master at it, and I cannot believe it's over. But yeah, so far this year, Assassin's Fate is probably my best book that I've read, and I just don't see anything topping it, and a lot of it probably has to do with my emotional connection to this world and these characters. But I do think that this was a really good ending to the series, and she wrapped it up very well. The next prompt is the best sequel I've read so far, and this one, obviously Assassin's Fate would be it, but I picked a different one just so I didn't say the same thing, and I decided to go with Wind and Truth by Brandon Sanderson. This is the fifth and final book in the first arc of the Stormlight Archive series. This is a really epic high fantasy series where the Alethi are at war with the Parshendi because the Parshendi assassinated their king, but this war has been going on for a really long time at this point, and like things have changed. There's a lot of politics involved. We have a really interesting magic system, really great character work in here, and overall I think that the magic is the best aspect of this series, but I also really love some of these characters. They've stuck with me so much, and I think that this was a really good conclusion. But I will say I was expecting it to conclude a little bit more just because of where his other series have ended when they do have arcs that are going to be continuing. I think that I was kind of going in with different expectations due to the fact that I've read other series by him that have like finished an arc within that world, and this definitely had different vibes in my opinion. I had some issues with some of the pacing and some of the POVs I just didn't care as much about, and overall, it was a really great time though. The lore that we got in this world was phenomenal. I was so invested in some of these characters and their experiences and what they were going through, their journeys, the friendships that were developing, and the different connections. I loved it so much. I did have some issues with it, but overall, it was a really great read. Absolutely loved it and would definitely recommend this series. It is so good. The next prompt is a new release you haven't read yet, but you want to. And for this one, I am going with The Raven Scholar by Antonia Hodgson. I just feel like this book is one that I will absolutely love. It kind of has like the magic dark academia vibes to it, I think. And there is a competition in here to see who will be like the next ruler of their world, I believe. But I think there's also a murder mystery thrown in there as well, where like one of the contestants is killed. And so that throws a wrench into this competition. They're also trying to figure out what's going on, who killed him, if anyone else is next. I am just assuming these things. I obviously haven't read it, but this sounds all like things that I would really enjoy. I don't know. I haven't really heard anyone talking about this book after having read it. I've seen a lot of people talk about wanting to read it, but I just think this is one that sounds like it's for me, right? Like this is going to be one that hits all the boxes for me. So very excited to try it out. I even have 2 copies of it, which I know is embarrassing, but I wanted a reading copy as well because it's thick, it is fantasy, so I'm thinking I'm going to want to like have a physical copy to read because I won't want to read the special edition, and you'll see why later. But yeah, I am so excited to try this one out. I think it's gonna, I feel like this could be a new favorite for me. The next prompt is your most anticipated release for the second half of the year. And this one I'm going to go with Catabasis, however you say that, by R.F. Kuang. I have really loved her writing in the past. I really like her writing style. I like her characters. She writes really good kind of morally gray characters, even like to the side of like being maybe not so good of people, but we still are invested in them and their story. I enjoy how knowledgeable she is, and you can see that in her writing. She is very intelligent and she is very well educated and like knows what she's talking about in these different topics, which I love. I think that this one has the potential to be one that I would really enjoy. I don't know exactly what all it's about, honestly. It sounds a little bit confusing. It sounds a little bit like a type of book that you can't really describe, and that sounds perfect for me. So really looking forward to this. I think it's one I could love, and I think so many people are excited for this one too. So it'll be fun to read it together when it comes out and like discuss it, because it is such a hyped up new release. Next, we have our biggest disappointment for the year so far. I'm going to throw a couple on there. I think I'll put on Ruthless Vows and Lady Macbeth. These are both ones that I thought I was going to really love. I went into this series thinking it is one that would really be a hit for me because of all the buzzwords that they had around it, like rivals to lovers and kind of a like light academia with a slow burn romance. And that really was not it at all. I don't feel like the romance was really slow burn. Honestly, I didn't really feel the rivals all that much. Like, it just didn't give what I was expecting as much. And it was a lot more around like the war and the kind of commentary on that than it was on the premise that was sold to us for this series. So I just think it was marketed kind of poorly, honestly. Yeah, the first book was pretty good. I did quite enjoy it, but the second book was just not my favorite. And I have talked about Lady Macbeth in another video that I don't know. I think it's going to go up after this one, actually. I just didn't really like that the entire plot of the book was our main character trying not to be abused and doing everything she could to not be abused. It just was very emotionally dark and draining, and it was something that I just was not wanting to be in that space. I do think that the retelling of Macbeth from Lady Macbeth's perspective was really interesting, and I did quite enjoy the changes that were made to the story because obviously it was told from a different perspective, and so, you know, you can change certain things because it was told from her point of view. I did really enjoy that aspect of it, and I thought that that was really well done overall, and I liked the story and the plot. I just didn't really like that we were sitting in this place and everything we were doing was our main character trying to avoid being abused. It was just not a story that I enjoyed being in. Next one is Biggest Surprise, and I feel like I kind of have gone back and forth on what that is for me this year, but I think for this one I'm going to choose Letters to Half Moon Street. I thought that this was such a good time. This was a book that was actually chosen for me to read by my friend Sophia, and I did not know anything about it going into it. I had really no expectations, but I just enjoyed it so much. It's kind of like a little hug of a book. It has a very cozy fantasy feel to it, but not quite like a lot of the cozy fantasy we're seeing lately. It's set in a Regency-esque era London, but there is magic, and our main character is just kind of a little bit oblivious. He's naive, but he is sweet, and I kind of like his grumpy attitude that he has towards things. I think that sometimes that can be overdone, but I think it was really well executed in this book. I like our main love interest. I thought that he was very charming and endearing and just sweet and kind, which I liked. And it was told entirely in letter format, which I think was interesting to kind of see people telling our character things and him just not really understanding, and you can see it in the letters that he sends out. It was just such a good time. This is a short novella, so if you do want to try it out, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really cute. Prompt 7 is a favorite new author, and this one is new to me. This might also be her debut novel, but she has many out since then if it was, and I'm going with Juliette Merlier. I love her writing style. I think it is just very beautiful. Her prose are just easy to sink into and get lost in her world. I really like the atmospheres that she develops, and I love her character work. I know some people don't love the coming of age stories when you start when they're very young, but I thought that this was really well done in this story. She wasn't annoying like a lot of young characters can be. I thought it was really well executed. I had such a fun time following her story, and it was so emotional and character driven, which is something that I love in books when it is done well. I just get so invested in these characters and their lives, and I absolutely loved it. I love the second book in this series as well, so yes, definitely will be more of this author in my future. This next question I feel like I struggle with every year, and that's newest fictional crush. I mean, I guess I can kind of go with Everin from Emberclaw. I think he was a really interesting male main love interest. He was a dragon, which is always great. And I think we got a lot of like individual character development with him because we weren't just constantly in the relationship, right? He was separated from that. And so we had like a lot of individual development in this book. So him, I guess, I don't know. I don't really have a crush on him, but like, I guess we'll go with this one. This will be my choice. Next is newest favorite character, and I actually think I'm going to go with Maisley Donner in Sunrise on the Reaping. I think that she was a really interesting character. I loved how much of a personality she was given in this book. I loved how sassy she was. She was so strong, and we know, of course, like how her story ultimately goes, and just seeing how like full of life and passionate she was devastating and like so amazing to see at the same time. Yeah, I really love her as a character. I hope they do well with her character in the movie, because in the book she was so good. Her just telling Drusilla, loved it. Loved her so much. This next prompt is a book that made you cry, and I mean, honestly, this you can take your pick. I was like bawling this year. I feel like there were so many emotionally impactful books for me this year, and I am loving it. I love books that will emotionally devastate me, and it's been happening this year, and I am very much a fan. Next is a book that made you happy, and this one I'm gonna go with Letters to Half Moon Street again. I thought this was such a just heartwarming book. I was smiling, I was laughing, I had a great time with this book, and I was very much in a good mood every time that I listened to it. So yeah, Letters to Half Moon Street is gonna be the one I pick for making me happy, because it was just like a very uplifting book. 12 is the most beautiful book that you've bought so far this year, and for this one I am going to go with the Raven Scholar. This is the Illumicrate exclusive edition. I have already shown it in a book haul, but look how pretty it is. It has gorgeous sprayed edges as well. I love the color choice of it, this like vibrant purple look. It's so good. I also really like this naked hardback art that it has. I think it is just so beautiful. And then it has some end paper art as well. So yeah, I'm going with this one. It was really hard for me to decide because I've gotten so many gorgeous special editions this year, but I don't know. I think this like purple vibe just works for me, and I love it. Plus, I'm really hoping to love the book, so I'm hoping that it'll be like a gorgeous special edition and an amazing book. And the 13th and final prompt is, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? I have a lot on my list, honestly. So many books that I want to read by the end of the year, but I have limited myself to picking 3 that I am just really like honed in on at this point. The first one is The Thousand Deaths of Ardor Ben. This was actually the series that was chosen by one of my patrons for like when I was doing the series I'm going to focus on this year. I think this one sounds like so much fun. I am really excited to jump into this world. It has kind of like the heist vibes to it. I just think this is one I could really love, right? It's been catching my eye on my shelf a lot. I think I need to like get to it sooner than later, but it is so long. Like, this is going to be a commitment when I get to it. Another one that's been on my shelf forever and is kind of one that I've been waiting for the perfect time to read, which I know I have a problem with that, is The Spear Cuts Through Water by Simon Jimenez. This one has been described as just being so beautiful and lyrical, like a told story. Such just an amazing book to read that you don't really feel like you're reading, and that's what I want from it. I want a gorgeously told tale. I'm so excited to try this one out. I'm hoping my hopes aren't like, I haven't put too high of expectations on it because I've heard only good things, but I think this one could be one of my favorite books of all time. And I think that's part of why I put it off so long, is because I want to love it so bad. And I'm nervous that if I read it at the wrong time, I won't. But I need to read it this year. It needs to happen. And the final book on this list is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. This one is her newest release. This is a dark vampire story, and we follow 3 different vampires throughout time. They have very different like backstories and very different kind of feelings and stories as they have become vampires. And I just love V.E. Schwab's writing. I think it is so beautiful. I think she does such a great job of telling stories. I loved Addie LaRue, and I feel like people who loved Addie LaRue have been loving this one as well. So I'm hoping this is one that I will absolutely adore. I went to her book tour for this one when she came to Salt Lake City, and she is so fun. She is fun. She's funny. She's really well spoken, and she just seems like such a great time, which I love because I love when I love the author and their books, right? So can't wait to read this one. I think it's going to be just beautiful and devastating, and I think it's something that I'm going to really love. So this is the final. I only let myself put 3 on the list because I didn't want to get too out of hand. So that was a mid-year freak out take for me. Let me know how your year is going so far, and let me know your favorite book and your least favorite book down in the comments, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.